But it's not the only political bloc that China is trying to keep tabs on. In recent years, China has cultivated a wide variety of political allies in Colombo. How do they do it? Let me give you an example. What you see on your screen are photographs from the month of June. This was a video conference organized by China. In attendance were representatives of Sri Lanka's major political parties, the People's Front, the United National Party, the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, and the People's United Front of Sri Lanka. They were all in one room just before an election, talking to Beijing together. On the face of it, this meeting was to discuss the Wuhan virus outbreak and the Belt and Road Initiative, but some reports suggest otherwise. This one that you see on your screen says that China was using the meeting to cultivate bipartisan bonds. China has been busy this election season in Sri Lanka. It has apparently commissioned local pollsters to gauge voter sentiment, meaning Chinese diplomats are conducting opinion polls on Lankan elections. Have you heard of something like this before? This should tell you how deeply China is involved. Why is it so interested in the outcome of this election? Because it has invested billions in Sri Lanka. Colombo has an external debt of $55 billion. China accounts for 10% of this debt. Until last year, it had invested $11 billion in Sri Lanka, $8 billion just for the Belt and Road Initiative. We're talking about big money, and China's investments are only expanding. In northern Sri Lanka, China has begun investing in rubber, tea, coconut cultivation. Reports say both governments are discussing investments worth $30 to $40 million in the plantation industry alone. Chinese money is now reaching the grassroots of the Sri Lankan economy, and that means other investment partners are being edged out. Case in point, the Quad nations, countries like the United States, Japan, and India. They have not been able to get their projects off the ground. The Rajapaksa government is dragging its heels. They've been in power for less than a year. They've sent mixed signals over two multi-billion-dollar infrastructure projects. The first one is of an elevated light railway system. Japan was supposed to build this. It was supposed to pass through parts of Greater Colombo, Sri Lanka's largest commercial city. But the government has put it on hold. Then we have the Colombo Port Project, a deal to build an expanded container terminal. Japan and India were partners in this project, with Sri Lanka getting the majority ownership. But Colombo is yet to greenlight this project. Reports say the Rajapaksas want a better deal. Around 30 trade unions and employees of the Sri Lankan Ports Authority had gone on strike over this deal. They wanted the deal to be scrapped, but the strike was called off. And interestingly, the chairman of the Sri Lanka Ports Authority is a man appointed by President Rajapaksa himself. His name is General Daya Ratnayake, someone who has served as a post-war army chief. Like I said, join the dots, it's all linked. Then we have the United States facing similar resistance in Sri Lanka. It has offered a $480 million grant to Sri Lanka. But it looks like Colombo could refuse it. The ruling Rajapaksas had opposed the grant from America when they were in the opposition. A committee was set up to look into it. They too opposed the agreement in their report to the president. We've reported about all of this earlier on the show. Now let me tell you what happened next. The Rajapaksas have left the decision to their cabinet colleagues. Will the president listen to their views? He doesn't have to, because this cabinet's expiry date is fast approaching, you see. All the 225 seats in the Lankan parliament will hold an election on the 5th of August, next week. The present ministers, the members of the cabinet could be out of office next month. The views of this cabinet do not really matter now. So Chinese projects have been green-lighted. India, Japan and the United States are being stonewalled. And it may not matter who gets elected on the 5th of August. China has all the bases covered.